So he's on here, and it says Wolf is a leading expert at the intersection of law, business, technology. He advises crypto companies, crypto startups, venture capital funds, and international policymakers on blockchain-based solutions. Okay, fair enough, but we're running into an issue here. We have two ICOs happening during the same period that are somewhat competitive. All right. Now, you can argue semantics here a little bit, and you can say there's probably differences, and I will give you that. But you have to admit that there is quite a few similarities in what these two tokens, the markets they're hitting. I mean, you're not talking about a debit card idea and a car loan token. I mean, you're talking about two tokens that are actually hitting the same plane. So basically, if you look at, this is the white paper for Anchorus, and so you have the global exchanges, same idea as Tokia. So here, let's just say this is Tokia, okay, your global exchange. It changes it into tokens and into the crypto wallet. So you have Anchorus tokens, and customer pays Anchorus for their, I'm not sure how that's how you say it, but for their purchase in any one of a number of currencies. This will include, and it lists a few. So basically, the difference here, I guess, is with Tokia, it's being supposedly changed into actual currency, which it has to be for a debit card right now. It would be changed into actual currency. With this, it's changed into anchor tokens, which are placed in your crypto wallet. And then with the anchor tokens, you'll supposedly be able to use them to purchase. So the anchor tokens would be then converted similarly to foreign exchange conversion to actual money. So, okay, it's not the same exact concept, but again, you're hitting too close of markets, absolutely too close of markets, and this is considered, in my opinion, to be a conflict of interest. How can you have an advisor working on with both of these ICOs? And you have to understand, if you look at the white paper for Tokia, let's see here, yeah, right here. So 2% goes to advisors. So they have a incentive here to promote Tokia. I didn't notice. Let me see if I can find out if these guys are also giving tokens to the advisors. All right, so 5% will be allocated to Anchorus advisors. There will be 100 million of maximum supply. And Tokia is giving 2%. It says funds distribution is, well, it doesn't list advisors. So 2%, 100 million tokens, 9 million, so 50 million tokens. So that right now, I'm seeing a concern right now that you have this advisor on two ICOs happening during the same period. Something seems very wrong about that. And it just seems like a red flag to me. It's not something that I'm very comfortable with, especially seeing that you have two ICOs in competing fields, which with similar, albeit not identical ideas, and both ICOs are giving tokens to the advisor. So there's an incentive for both. So how are the advisors going to be unbiased and give full attention to one versus the other? I don't see how that is possible. I don't think it's a fair position to hold, assuming that this is true and he's actually a part of this, and it's just not a copy and paste. What is interesting is I did go to his Twitter, so legit, everything looks legit, but if you look up Tokia, nothing comes up. Now, he did tweet about Anchorus. He did tweet about that on December 17th, but if you look up Tokia, he doesn't tweet about Tokia. I don't see anything in his tweets about Tokia. And again, you have to ask the question, why the silence? Why the silence on Tokia? Maybe he's not actually an advisor for Tokia. Maybe it's a copy and paste from Anchorus. Okay, so that's possible. I mean, I'm not telling you that's what is going on, but I'm saying that is very possible. That is possible. And the other reason why that I say that is possible is because their actual address is bogus. If you look up 6 Thorns Office Park, this is what comes up. All right. So European Business Center. Okay. So what is European Business Center? Well, let's go to their website. European Business Center. It's a mailbox for the UK. That's all it is. It's not an office. It's not a suite. It's just a mailbox. Now, let me ask you a question. In what situation, when you're starting an ICO, would you purchase a mailbox and not have a physical address? It seems a bit fishy. It seems a bit off the wall. All right, so I need to wrap this up here. We're running up on time. I looked up this lady here, supposed to be the founding partner, Anna Lunhu, however you say her name. But that was in France. So she was doing that in France. So interesting. So she's part of the Sotheby's Institute of Art. Well, I'm not aware of a Sotheby's. There is a Sotheby's Institute of Art in London. Not a mistake that you'd expect on somebody of this profile, if you will. That's something it seemed like you'd catch pretty fast and fix. I looked up Sotheby's Institute of Art and went through their list, went through all the documents I could find, and I have no record of this lady being a part of the Sotheby's Institute of Art. So maybe there is a Sotheby's. Maybe she created that ICO as well. There's a few other things I found. If you look up where this location, you compare that to where she claims to have worked in London, which appears to be bogus. I'm not saying it is bogus. It appears to be bogus, possibly. And then you also compare it to a place in France, where I also found a record that she either lived or was located at one time. One last thing is, this is another business venture she was associated with, Monaco Business Solutions, or Monaco, probably Monaco. So Monaco Business Solutions, there she is again. And there's this guy. And in here it says she speaks all these languages, interestingly enough. But what's interesting is you look under her qualifications. I don't see a mention of art. I don't see a mention of Sotheby's. So she's been engaged in private banking. I noticed a bunch of things about private banking. That doesn't really qualify you to start an ICO. I'm sure that gives you some experience. Doesn't really qualify you to start an ICO. And so this was a company she was involved with not too long ago. Assuming she still is, kind of interesting. But it really worries me a little bit to see some of this information which seems to be conflicting here. All right, so you look under her LinkedIn, you see a lot of stuff about an internship with banks, with real estate, private banking, degree at Monaco University, private banking, marketing director, and then just 2 years ago, Monaco Business Solutions, which I just showed you the site. And then out of nowhere, September 2017, she posts, she's a founding partner of the free forever crypto exchange Tokia. And that's where it pops out of. You don't get a lot of information from her other than that. And if you look her up on Twitter, she does not exist. And again, for somebody of this prominence, supposed prominence and profile, you should be able to find her on Twitter. So those are some of my concerns looking at this ICO. I am still doing a little bit more research on, that's actually in chorus. Doing a little bit more research on her two buddies here. I couldn't find as much, so I needed to do deeper research on these guys. But as it stands, I'm going to say this token, this exchange, has some red flags. I'm not saying that it will never be anything. It could. But there are red flags or things that are not adding up. There are inconsistencies. There is at the very least a conflict of interest with one of the advisors, which leads me to say at the very best, it could undermine the vision of Tokia, assuming that it is a honest vision. At the worst, it could absolutely decimate it. So some things to think about. Hopefully it gave you some better facts, and maybe you can take this from here and do more research. But I'm going to recommend that you don't invest in Tokia, or if you do, invest a very small amount. Be very careful and be smart. But as it stands, I will not be investing in it. I do not believe that it is worthy of my attention. I'm interested in SpectroCoin. That's actually where I am going to be placing my investment in this niche. So yeah, that's where I stand on that. That's my full disclosure. This is my personal opinion based on my research. This is not financial advice. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm not giving you financial recommendations. I'm just telling you some facts and some of my research. Thanks for watching. Please comment below if you have another ICO or currency or token you would like us to review or look at as a possible scam, and we will do the research for you and present it as timely as possible. I will do my best to make these more concise. Sometimes it's hard to get everything across in a few minutes, but I will do my best in the future. Please like this video, please subscribe and share with your friends. I'll see you next time.